Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Can you hear me?
How
Okay.
are you? Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Good. Yes, I can. I can. Pleased to meet you.
I know you too. Where are you in Manchester? Did you say?
No, I'm in Cambridge.
Oh, in Cambridge. Oh, what is it like
Yes,
there?
yes. So everything well with you? Yes. How are you coping with this awful 19 COVID thing?
Oh my God, yes. Well, probably the same as everyone else, making the most of it until we are free again.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Right.
How about you?
Okay. Well, I don't know how much I explained to you about this podcast, but what I do is can you see me okay, by the way? Because I look a little bit small on my screen.
Can you stopping and starting? You're a little bit cutting and
Oh, right,
anyway.
okay. Oh, that's not good. I'll try and get
That's
myself.
okay. Can you hear me clearly though?
I can, yes. I've got a speaker on, so
Oh,
you're very loud and very clear.
okay.
Um, yes, no. So basically, I've been doing this podcast now since lockdown started. I'm an amateur dramatics theatre actor, and I do some extra work on stage and whatever, and TV and whatever else I can find. But with lockdown, I found myself with nowhere to go, nothing to do. So the podcast was born. So I'm on my second series now, and I've done.
Wow. Well done.
I'm on episode 20 now. So you will be number 20 on
Gosh.
my list, right? And so basically that's it. And what it is, it's between half an hour and a half, between half an hour and an hour's conversation, and I'll build a show from it with music of your choice, and it goes
Oh,
out
excellent.
go out on Spotify. I put one out every week on a Monday. So
Okay. Brilliant.
so yours, this one will be ready in possibly 2 to 3 weeks by the time I've edited and do what else. So although we're recording now, I will edit out anything that's not needed, and it'll be good. So that's where
Brilliant.
we're at. Yeah. And
Mhm.
yeah. So anyway, I thought I'd start with you. I thought I'd start at the beginning, or at the end, should I say, right where we are now, because I've been looking through your profile and seen that you've done a recent news clipping on, or was a recent thing you've done for
Yeah.
Aim High. Yes, so I thought I'd start there. So tell me a little bit about that and how
Aim
you
High
got into.
Productions. Yeah. Well,
Mm.
yeah. Well, I've worked with them before, but they're a company led by Shiraz Khan, who's an actor and a director. And when lockdown hit, he decided to film, well, like probably a lot of other people. So he kind of self-isolation and, filming about the virus, I guess. And they were looking for a newscaster. So he approached me. And yeah, I did it for him. That was my first newscaster role for voiceover. So I was quite happy, and it's in his feature film. So yeah, that's how it is. Yes, and it's on my social media. So
It
go
is,
check it out.
yes. So you've have you worked with this gentleman before? You say you've actually done work with him before?
Yeah, a couple of times. So I've written music, and he's used a few of my songs in one of his earlier films. I forget the film now, but yeah, no, he used it. So we've known each other for a while.
Right. Okay. And what sort of things do you do in voiceover? Are you versatile, or have you got a niche that you concentrate on with the voiceover work?
With the voiceovers, no, I do anything. I've done professional voicemail for two international American companies. I actually just did a promotional ad for women in the army in America, promoting them. And I've also done character voices. So I did an animation earlier on this year playing an 8-year-old girl, which was really, really good fun. So I love doing things like that. But now I can do anything. I've done adverts for radio. And podcast, I just did an intro and outro for a podcast. This my friend, a colleague of mine, Paul, was putting out there. So yeah, no, I can do everything.
So about this 8-year-old that you mentioned, how did you do that? What tricks did you use to pull that off as an 8-year-old?
Well, I've been singing for a long time, so I kind of know how to turn my voice. But basically, to play a young person, you just have to make your voice a little bit lighter, kind of like go a bit high and a bit more softer. And then the voice just seems to come out. Shall I do it now? I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I'm also Welsh as well, so for some reason it kind of comes out a bit Welshy whenever I'm on the spot. But all right, okay, hang on. Hi. Okay, Dad. Hi, my name's Amy, and when I grow up, I want to be a voiceover artist. Okay. It's something like that, but I have to be in the mode.
Very good, very good. Having interviewed, I did actually an interview with a young girl, a young actress who was 13, and it was very good. That was very close. Yeah, very
good. Good, that's right.
Yeah, so what else have you done? I mean, I've seen again that you've done some animation. Is that kind of anything that I might have heard of or know, cartoon wise, that you've done?
Well, that was a girl's voice for it. Was a new animation that they were putting forward. I'm afraid it's called Bianca and Friends. So I'm not sure if it's gone out yet, but it was a pilot episode. So that was for that animation. But there's other types of animations as well. I've done voiceovers for websites for their explainer videos on their websites. So that's kind of like animation as well.
So what about you then? What are you, when you're not doing voiceovers, what are your interests? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
My interest. I do love, I'm going to sound a bit of a geek now, but I do love to read. I read a lot. I've read a lot of books over the years. But I also love watching Netflix. I love science fiction. I love Yoda and The Mandalorian. I'm a big fan. So, yeah. Anything to do with sci-fi, aliens, supernatural, I'm there.
Really? Good.
So yeah, that's what I love. But when lockdown wasn't there, so last year, I basically spent probably every month in the theatre. So we have a theatre where I live, Swansea Grand Theatre, and they have different things coming all the time. So I've been to see musicals like Rock of Ages and comedy shows with that Irish comedian, I can't remember his name, Ed Byrne. I went to see him last year. Shrek, the musical, that came down here. And then Fame with Misha Paris, she came down here as well. So I love doing things like that. And
yeah, nice.
Quite eclectic taste.
Very good, very good. Nice. So I noticed you started the voiceovers in 2019. How did you build up to that and get into it in the first place? What led you down that road?
Well, while I was doing my singing, I was on a lot of radio shows and TV shows. So I was, I guess, presenting as well, and I put my own YouTube channel out there. I interviewed musicians, so I think it was kind of a natural progression. But last year I just decided that I don't really want to do music as a profession anymore. So I think I was just looking around, and I think somebody said how nice my voice is, and it kind of occurred to me that I was like, oh, right, okay, maybe I should do voiceovers. So I got myself a microphone, made a studio in my house, and made a show reel and just started putting it out there. And I gave myself a year to see how it would go, if people would actually respond well, and see if anybody would pay me to do it, obviously. And the feedback's been quite good. So I made myself a website, and I just started networking and put myself out there. And so far, so good. I'm being quite lucky.
Nice. Very, very good. Very good. Have you come across any big names that in your time then, during the voiceovers or the singing? Interviewing, singing with? All of it.
The first thing that comes to mind was with the presenting. So when I started to do interviews, I was very lucky. I mean, Swansea, people don't think it's a place that people come to visit, but because we have a lot of theatres here and a lot of music, people do. So my top one was, obviously, I studied jazz when I was in university. And I loved Buddy Greco, so he was kind of like the fourth member of the Rat Pack, and he did this amazing version of Lady is a Tramp. So I remember that back when I was 17, and I was very fortunate. He actually came down here, I think it was in 2011. I mean, he's passed away now, but yeah, he came to the Taliesin Art Centre, and I don't know how, but I was lucky enough to get an interview with him. So that was one of my highlights. That was really cool. And then also another one was who came here was Kyle Eastwood, who was Clint Eastwood's son.
Right, yes.
So he lives in Paris right now. Yeah, and he's a phenomenal bass player, and I got to interview him too, which was absolutely amazing. So yeah, that was very cool. He kind of sounded like his dad. Yeah, no, that was really, really.
Well, that's not a well-known fact that he's a bass player, is it? Did you actually hear him play? Was it, what did he attend for? Was it for something specific that he was there for?
Yeah, no, he's a bass player. He does gigs around the world, and he did a gig in the Taliesin Art Centre in Swansea. So he
Oh,
came here to
right.
play, and he had a
Oh,
lot of musicians with him. And he's played the electric bass and the upright bass. Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. Yeah,
oh.
I know many people don't think of
No,
Kyle
I
Eastwood as.
didn't know that. No, I've learned something new. Thank you for that. I didn't actually realize.
My pleasure.
All right, okay, so a little bit about yourself then. I mean, you've done the voiceovers, you've done the singing. What sort of music did you sing at the time when you were singing, and what do you like to listen to when you're listening to music?
Well, all my life, I think from the beginning, I used to like musicals. So, you know, I've grown up with musicals, Frank Sinatra, Fred Astaire, and Judy Garland. And because I'm Indian as well, I also listen to Indian music. My parents always used to play it around the house, used to watch Indian films. So I've quite grown up with an eclectic taste. I have two older sisters, and they used to be into rock. So I kind of got into that as well. But my influences are Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. Used to love them. I used to do the little trills that Mariah Carey could do on Hero and all of those songs. I used to practice that. But I am actually classically trained. So I went to music college, but I studied jazz at music college. And then I just threw myself into the whole jazz section of music. I loved it so much. So then after I came back from college, that was all that I would listen to for a long time. But then I started to play in various bands, and we'd play in wedding bands. And so I do pop and rock and everything like that. And then I started to write my own songs. And then I put an album out, which was called A Sin with Love. And I've done a few other singles as well. And I also collaborated with a New York label, and we put out a couple of songs with them. But I like listening to everything. I think it just depends on my mood. Sometimes when I wake up, I just want to listen to happy stuff. So I will put a bit of pop, cheesy pop on, or some rock. And then late night, kind of laid back classical stuff or jazz. It just depends, I think, on what mood I'm in.
Right. Okay. So, a bit of an odd question for you now, but if you had the time to go back in time, who would you like to collaborate with, dead or alive, that you haven't already done so with?
Wow. I think I really would like to collaborate with Frank Sinatra, because he was the reason why I started singing, I think, and then why I got into jazz in the first place. So definitely Frank Sinatra.
Right. Okay. And did you model yourself on anybody? I know you said who your inspirations were, but who did you model yourself on? Anyone in particular? Or have you got your own style?
I think I have my own style, but as I said, it was Mariah Carey. I just loved her so much when she first, came out, especially when her Music Box album came out, and she had Dream Lover and Hero and Anytime You Need a Friend. And I think that was the era. It was the early to mid 90s. And Boys to Men, she used to do a lot of things with them. So yeah, she'd be one that I love.
Oh, right. Okay. Good. Right. Okay. Let me just have another look through your profile. I will come up with something else. Just bear with me 1 minute. I've lost you for a second.
Oh.
Just entertain yourself. This will all be edited out. Don't worry. Right, there you go, Amy. Not that one, wrong one. No, wrong one. That one. Right, yes, so we've got that, we've done that. We've covered that. International radio musician. We've covered that. Okay. Leeds College. You've covered that. From 2000 to 2003, you was at Leeds College, and that was when you were studying their music. So, songwriting, I suppose we should go on to. Really, is that something you've stopped doing now? You do the voiceovers, or do you still dabble with that now?
Well, I love writing songs, and I used to love writing poetry when I was younger. So, I mean, when I'm doing the voiceovers, it comes in handy when I'm reading people's scripts, because not everyone knows how to speak their script. So it's good to have somebody that's good with words, I guess, to read through it and see if it flows. Not everything is going to flow when you speak it. So no, I still do the songwriting, even though I'm doing the voiceovers. I think it's safe to say that I haven't stopped singing or songwriting. I think I'm just using it more as a hobby than as a career.
Right.
So, but no, I love writing songs, and that's always going to be in the background.
Right. Okay. Yes. Good. Have you got any music to hand? There, your own music that you could
My music, yeah,
share
it's all
with
on
me.
Spotify.
It's all on
It's all on,
Spotify. Okay.
it's all on Spotify. I did my album called A Sin with Love, which was my first album, and it's very eclectic in style. I mean, it's very jazz. You got pop, you got a bit of folk, and then at the end, one I've got is a vampire's dance, which is kind of classical, and it's got a nice, lovely cello in it. And then the other singles that I did is a bit more commercial, I'd say. So the last single is more. I got into country rock towards the end, and I did my first duet with a guitarist called John Sudbury, and he's also singing on the track as well. So I think various styles you can see as I've developed over the years, the different types of songs that I've put out there. But the songs that I did with the American New York label, I think that was jazz based as well. That was with a producer called Ronald Lashley. So yeah, but everything's on Spotify or YouTube or iTunes, so anybody can listen to it.
Good. So I'll be able to find. So have you got any objections with me using that on your podcast, or would you like to?
Not. Use whatever you will, whatever's out there.
Lovely. Okay. Okay. Languages. So I see that you study. Did you study languages, or is that just because of the Asian background that you've picked it up?
The Asian background, yeah. I can understand Hindi. I don't really speak Hindi, but no, I was learning French, so I can sing a few songs in French, and I can sing a song in Spanish. So I think that's where the languages come in. So as far as I'm singing, I can't speak them fluently. So
right, okay. So if you used to go out partying, shall we say, or leisuring, what sort of venue would you choose? Sort of nightlife.
For nightlife. Well, in Swansea we've got some nice bars, and I do like cocktails. And when I was younger, well, after I graduated from Leeds, I used to hang out at the jazz club, and I used to hang out so much. And I like fruit type of cocktail, so the bartender even named a cocktail after me, and it was called A Sin So Sweet. So Amy Sinha, Sin my name, so sweet, because I like sweet cocktails. So,
right,
yeah.
okay.
I pick places like that. I do like bars. I do like cocktails. I love gin. I'm really into gin these days. Different flavors gin. So yeah, places like that, or maybe with live music as well.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Keep going. What else can I find? Some more stuff to find on you. So have you done much of this kind of thing? I mean, you say you've done your own version of a podcast type thing. Are you a guest on other podcasts frequently, or is this a one-off?
Well, I've got another one. I've been on one. This is my second. I've got another one before New Year's. I've done interviews that was in person. So I've done radio interviews, not so much podcasts. I know podcasts are the new things now, especially over Zoom, when you can put it on all different types of platforms. So I'm just starting to get into this. But I think, you know what, I think maybe this virus, the good side of this virus is that you found new ways of doing things. So it's easier. Like when I was doing my interviews, I would actually do them over Skype. And I found that quite difficult. It was quite a challenge because I didn't really know how to work out Skype and the audio through Skype or the video. But I think something like Zoom, I think is brilliant. So yeah, it's definitely put out some new ways of collaborating with people. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. Yes, I mean, when I started out, I was using WhatsApp to talk to people, and unfortunately, the quality isn't always great. But this is, yeah, much better. Once I sorted that out and worked it out, Zoom is, yeah, definitely the way to go.
Way to go.
Yeah,
Zoom.
way to go. So, okay, so let's move on back. As you mentioned, COVID and whatever. What effects did it have on you in regards to work-wise? You know, the interviewing and the other stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was quite upset. I'm not going to dumb that down when we went into lockdown, because I had this whole thing because I was starting the voiceovers, and I had a lot of these networking events that I signed up for and I wanted to do. And obviously it was face to face. So when it hit, I was just like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get myself out there and make a name for myself? And then, I mean, talking about Zoom, it started online networking, and I've built that up. And actually, it's been quite a blessing, I think, because things I wouldn't have done, or people that I would not have met, especially internationally, or I've been meeting people in Sweden, in the US, even across the UK, that I wouldn't have met otherwise, and kind of made my name known. And I've had a few jobs because of that. So what was, I think, was a bit of a dodgy start and a little bit made me feel quite down during the first lockdown has actually opened itself up. And I think even moving forward now, even going face to face with people, they're still going to keep these networking sessions online so that we can become more global. So I've started to, so as I said, this is quite, I think, a blessing in this respect that maybe we hadn't thought about, which I think has been very beneficial for me, especially starting a new business. And because I work remotely from home, so it doesn't mean that I don't have to meet people face to face. I can do it over Zoom, tell them, they can tell me what I want, and I can deliver it over email or, things like that. So it's been, I think I've finished the year on a positive note, and I'm actually looking forward to 2021 in a good way, working in different aspects, not just one. So it has opened up life, I think, moving forward.
A question I've asked everybody pretty much I've spoken to is, have you found that any one type of work is come out of COVID within the voiceover work? Are you getting more offers for one type of work because of it, or is it just still all across the board for you?
No, well, I think it's all across the board, but I think podcasts are quite in vogue, I will say right now, because things like this, everyone wants to put themselves out there, put their story forward, have good conversations with people from around the world. And I've noticed people are doing this more. So I think podcasts, so as I said, I did my first intro and outro and advert for a podcast. So I'm hoping that will continue and I can do more of that. And I find it fun. I like working with different people. I like doing different things. This podcast, he wanted me to do an American accent as well as a British accent. So I get to use that side of my voice. So it's kind of challenging me to do different things. I don't promote that I can do an American accent, especially when I'm in an American audience, but in secret, if it's in private, I will do an American accent. I think I've watched enough episodes of Friends to kind of, wangle my way forward.
So you're a big Friends fan, are you?
I am a huge Friends fan. It still makes me laugh. I swear, I've watched it like 1,000 times. And that's the one thing that I was quite upset about, because Friends the musical was touring in the UK. I don't know if you heard about it.
I didn't know.
No, they're touring. So now they're pushed next year, but I was really looking forward to it. So I got my friends involved and we booked tickets for the Grand Theatre, and obviously it had to be postponed, but they are coming next year. So fingers crossed that they can come. It's a musical. It's a Friends musical parody, and from the reviews, it seems to be quite a hit. So if anybody is looking out for that, see some dates next year all around the UK, and I would definitely recommend booking a
I'll
ticket
look
for that.
out for it myself. Yes,
Yeah.
I know one or two people that would be there for tickets on day one.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So what else? What else can you tell me? What else are you into? What do you like in the way of TV, shall we say, then?
TV. Oh
Mm.
gosh. I like thrillers, so I read a lot of thrillers. I've just got into Agatha Christie actually. I love thrillers, but I really don't like it when you're looking on Amazon and they're putting the title and they go, a new great thriller, and then they put ... with a twist. So you're like going, all right, okay. So then you've got the book and you're looking for the twist. I really don't see the point in that. But whereas Agatha Christie, I'm not going to say it, but they have twists all around and you're not expecting it. So I like books like that where you don't know there's a twist. I hate it when they spoil it for you because it's like The Sixth Sense. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes,
Have you seen The
yes,
Sixth Sense?
yes.
Yeah. So it was the kind of thing like that I love, where you're just like, oh my gosh, how come I did not see that right from the start? And there's people always going to be, oh, I knew that coming. I saw that. Like, really? Did you really? No. But things like that. So like, psychological thrillers and things like that. But as I said, anything like sci-fi or good comedy to make me laugh. I love to laugh.
So
Can't get enough laughter.
have you got a favourite author then? Having said that.
Favorite author. Oh my God, I hate things like that. I'm really bad with authors. I don't have a favorite author. I just love genres. So anything with a good genre, I think.
You don't care who writes it? No.
I don't care who writes it, as long as it's well written and I can read it. I have read Alexandra Porter. I've read probably all of her books. She's kind of like a fun, kind of a girly but magical at the same time. So in their storyline, and I do like that. A bit of magic in a book. Yeah.
So are you one of these people then that can sit down at the start of a day, pick up a book, and it's finished by bedtime?
If I haven't got anything to do, yes, I can.
Really?
But I have to get into the book. It takes me a while maybe to get into a book. So I kind of like start. But once I'm in a book, then I'm gone. But it's just like a box set. So I think I was watching The Crown. It took me a while to get into it, but then I was just hooked. Anything like that, any like a good box set that anybody recommends. I'm always looking for a new box set on Netflix or Amazon Prime, and I can get quite involved, and then my head is like, I can't do anything but watch that, and I just want to finish it till the end of the season. I can be a little bit obsessive, I'm not gonna lie. I do have an obsessive personality.
Right, okay. Are you a member of any of the these voiceover organizations where you get networking and links and whatever else and just guidance through that?
Well, so I've looked at Gravy from the Brain, Gravy for the Brain. Yeah, that's one. So I like to get tips from that. But to be honest with you, I'm not really, because it's everywhere these days. It's on Instagram and like all this advice, and YouTube. So I just Google anything I need to know on YouTube. It's all there, unfortunately. Not that would promote. I think these organizations are brilliant, and I think people should, especially if you're starting out. But there's a lot out there for free, that you can make use of, and I do advise that you do, especially if you haven't got any money right now, especially with COVID and everything, and you want to start, and you want to go into voiceovers, which I think everybody can do. You just need to practice with the voice. I mean, I did have a start being a singer, I guess, and having a lot of training for that. But voiceover is not as easy as people think. It's not a matter of just speaking and talking. There's different things that you have to do, and to make sure of, and using your voice in a certain way, and using your mouth in a certain way, and pronouncing certain things. It is a bit more tricky. So I do advise to just have a few lessons, maybe singing lessons or voice coaching lessons, just to get you in that kind of frame of mind, and then just go out there and do it. And like with everything, I think if you want to do something, you just got to do it with 100%. Throw yourself into it and just go for it. There's no like, oh, should I not? Just go for it. If you want to do it, I don't see any harm with doing that. 100%.
Yes, that raises another good question for myself, is in regards to the voiceover. I mean, some people that I've come across during this time, they say that sometimes when people get on the phone and all of a sudden the words won't come out. Is that something that you've come across with a microphone in front of your face? Or do you just take it all in your stride now?
Now I take it in my stride. When I was younger, I never used to love talking over the microphone. That was, something that I was always afraid of. I was great at singing when it came to holding a microphone, but obviously if you're a singer, you have to talk to the audience. And I've seen singers who can't, and that brings their performance down. And I had to learn to do that. And I purposefully put myself in situations where I had to do that. And that was why I started the presenting, where I had to talk to random people. And once I did that on a regular basis, I found that I could do it easily. And even if I babble, which I do, but it's just getting over that, accepting you're probably going to say something foolish one time or another, but just go with it and just cover it. It's fine. The more you practice something, the more you get used to it.
Well, exactly. Absolutely. Most definitely. I'm just putting some more battery life in my computer. Bear with me. Again. Yeah. Going very well for me at the moment. My laptop's gonna die.
No. Oh, mine dies all the time.
It's shocking. Right, let's just get a little bit of juice in there before it decides to pack up altogether and I lose you. There we go. You're back. Fine.
Okay.
Be all right now till the next time. Okay, right. Let's move on with. We got covered everything. Okay, so where can you be found for either for bookings or to follow you or anything else? Where are you on the ether?
I'm everywhere. I have an official website at amysinha.com, which is SINHA.com. You can find everything on there, but I'm on Instagram if you just type my name in, and Facebook, on LinkedIn. And I love LinkedIn right now. That is my platform to be in. And so if you want to connect on a business level, or if you want to connect just reaching out, then Instagram and Facebook. I'm not on Twitter, but everywhere else. I'm not on TikTok either, actually, but on YouTube as well. You can find me on YouTube. I've got a few channels on there. So I've got my interview channel and my voices, where you can hear the different voice styles that I can do. That's Miss A Sinha. Or my singing channel is, oh gosh, do you know, I just type my name in. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere.
Right. Okay. And you're available for work. How are you fixed for work? Are you bogged down right now, or are you available for bookings as we speak?
Well, I'm always available for bookings, but yeah, no, it's been quite busy right now, but I do like to fill my days. I love to do voiceovers and work, and I love to talk to people. So if anybody wants to inquire, I can usually I turn around is probably 24 to 48 hours, but it's amazing how long a project can take, even a short project. I like to get things 100% perfect. So I want to make sure that the client is happy with it. So I will spend as much time needed for that to happen. So, my length is however much time that is needed to finish a project, basically. But right. I love having new projects to work on. Keep myself busy. I love that.
Have you got one thing that stands out that you've done recently over in the last couple of years? Have you got one voiceover work, one piece of voiceover work that you've done in the last couple of years that stands out for you, that gave you the most enjoyment?
One piece of gosh, that's hard. No, I love them all because I've been doing different things and in different projects, so I can't really say as a one standout just yet. Maybe if I got to do an animation with Michael Sheen or David Tennant, then that would stand out for me. So I would love to do that. But no, I've loved doing everything that I've done.
Good. So what's some of the names of you've worked with? Have you got any names that you can throw at me? Big organizations or anything?
What, voiceovers or the singing?
But either, both, whatever. Yes.
Yeah, both. Well, I performed a few times with a few of the musicians from Ronnie Scott's. I have interviewed Derek Nash, who's the saxophone player for Ronnie Scott's and in the Jules Holland band. And a lot of them have done a lot of other things. So I was friends with a bass player called Winston Blissett, and he was also in Massive Attack. And I went to see one of his shows, which was amazing, really, really cool. Who else? I've met a lot of jazz people that might not be commercially known, but for me, they've been amazing. So I have, although I did get to hang out when I was in Leeds Music College with the whole cast of Emmerdale, which was very cool because it was up north. It was very cool. It was up north, so we did hang out a lot. They used to come to the jazz bar that was outside the college that we used to go to. So yeah, no, that was cool.
Very nice, very nice. Did you get any photos? And
I did actually. No, this guy. Oh, I forgot actually. One of the cast members from EastEnders I met because he came to the jazz club too because he was in one of production in the Swansea Grand Theatre. I think he was in a pantomime, and I can't remember what his name was, but he played like a drug dealer, or he got into drugs, and I can't remember. Paul. He played Paul from Trousseau. I can't remember now. Patrick's son. I don't know if you watch EastEnders at all.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did meet him as well.
Right. So what for you next? What have you got for yourself next on the cards?
On the cards. Well, I'm doing a lot of online networking, so I fill my time with that as well. I've also joined an agency, which was based in Canada, so I have to audition. So I'm quite busy. So I audition like 20 to 30 auditions a day while I'm doing the networking as well. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. And as soon as 2021 hits, and hopefully we can start going out and socializing again, I want to start meeting people and traveling around the country and start using different studios as well. And I would love to do that, use studios in London or just around the country, and keep doing more voiceovers. I'd love to do voiceovers for television adverts. That's one thing that I'd really love to do that I haven't done yet. So that's on my list to tick off. So yeah, I do have a list that I keep ticking off. A lot of things I've actually ticked off because I've done them. But yeah, that's one thing that I'd like to do. So that's next.
Brilliant. One final question I have, which has slipped my mind now, and I can't think what it was. It's gone. Oh my days, it's gone. That's not very good. Okay. What the hell was it? It was there and then it's gone. Not to worry. I'll find something else and it will come back to me. I'm just trying to find some more stuff that you've done. So is there anything, you said you've got music on Spotify and on YouTube. What is it you've got on YouTube? What is it you have on YouTube?
I have, well, basically all my original songs on YouTube. I've also got a YouTube channel with me just singing covers, and I've done on Instagram, I put out short covers, as well as on Facebook. So I play the piano as well, so it's just me on the piano. And also I have a interview YouTube channel, which is all the musicians that I've interviewed. So I was mentioning Buddy Greco and Kyle Eastwood, Derek Nash. So they're all on that channel, as well as the different styles of voices. Also, actually, I forgot to mention, it was, I think it was 2 years ago now, it was Radio 1, the Academy. They came to Swansea. They had that week-long Academy in the Grand Theatre, and then they put the big weekend, and that was in the Swansea Park. And I was one of the volunteers, so I got to do a little bit of Blue Peter presenting, which is really cool, which is on my YouTube channel as well, so you can see that. My first time, that was that was insane. But although I think if I did it again, I would have been much better at it, but my first go wasn't too bad. I think I did okay. So that's all on my YouTube as well. Everything that I've done is on YouTube.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Anyway, so yes, we're fast approaching the end, I'm afraid. So all I can say is thank you ever so much for your time. Thank you for being a guest. And I will put this together and I will get a copy to you before it goes live with the finished items on it and the music and what have you. It's been great talking to you. Lovely meeting you. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I'm just trying to close it down now.